Before Jmane became the Whoop Man, he was one of the most disrespectful rappers out of Chicago, but he has made a real change, trying to change the narrative of Chicago with his own cereal brand. But let's start from the beginning. Born Jeremiah McAfee on February 18th, 1996, in the infamous Calumet building in Chicago, his dad was a highly respected BD who would eventually be picked up in a big indictment when Jmane turned 8 years old. This would be big on him, and around this time he would start adventuring outside, and he was surrounded by a lot of legendary faces like T-Slick, Lil Reese, and THF Brabra. He was close with C-Day from a young child. He would end up moving around a lot though, as the Calumet building would be destroyed for its health problems and structural problems. Him and his mom would end up moving to Jaro City. This put him around a lot of different faces. Would end up having problems with people from his old stomping ground, but he would fit in better with this new crowd. But like the buildings, Jmane was surrounded by some real faces like FBG Duck, Billionaire Black, Lil B, and others. He would become a target over there though, and as his old friends considered him an op now. This was almost a costly mistake for him, as he was almost infamously shot by Fredo Santana while hanging with FBG Butta on 62nd, which coined Chief Keef's most known line, "Fredo in the cut. That's a scary sight." Jmane knew he had to get out of Chicago. In a big way, Jmane knew he had to get out of Chicago or he could lose his life, as a war was really bubbling and it was scorching hot at this time. But a lot of people were getting rich off dissing at this time. With a reason to start disrespecting dead people, he would start dropping, with a connection to the biggest faces and the wildest lyrics, it was a recipe to get out of Chicago. So he would start dropping diss songs, starting with 300 Dead Ops, where he dissed close to 50 dead people. It almost instantly went viral. Right there, he had a recipe to make money. He would follow that up with more tracks. He even made so much money off these disses, he was able to move out of Chicago and move to Las Vegas. He would continue dissing out in Vegas, especially when someone he disliked highly would pass away by the name of King Von. He would relentlessly diss King Von. Even dressing up like him in a music video, it would be all good at this time. He was making close to 10K a month off his YouTube, and he was living good. But something would pop up around this time, as someone was attempting to get his channel took down. At first, Jmane would use this as content, claiming Lil Durk was the one trying to get his channel deleted. In all reality, a producer he had used for most of his music didn't really get paid and sent Jmane about 27 copyright claims. Without a way to fix the situation, he would end up losing all his music, and with no way to make money at the time, he would go broke. But he would turn this to what he knew, and that was to make content about this situation. He was pretty brutally honest about living in his car, making content about his day-to-day, about being broke, and also becoming a parent. This ended up being the best thing for him. Even though it was a hard situation, a lot of people gravitated towards this type of content. He would pretty much go viral for this, and he would secure a position on Say Cheese TV. After years of messaging platforms like him, he had finally got his spot to make a little cash off the interview, and that would end up just being the best part of this interview, to be honest, as the first couple ones he did with Say Cheese didn't really do too much until his third interview, where he really leaned into the character. He would dress up in this interview to troll Lil Durk. He would make a custom FYB x OTF shirt saying that Lil Durk and him are basically doing a deal and that he told him to do all this. He would eventually fake face tattoos during the interview and wearing a fake OTF chain. This would be big for him, as this would go pretty viral and the clips would be spread around. This would secure him spots on platforms like Cam Capone and No Jumper. This would be a big turning point for him, as he had his own catchphrase by this time, and this was officially the birth of his Whoop brand. He had a change of heart around this time also, as he would attempt to publicly apologize for everyone he had dissed. While he was interviewing, he was able to tell some super iconic stories that were never really told to the public, including almost being shot by Fredo Santana, and exposing that he was Lil Reese's cousin, which Lil Reese actually denies to this day. He also would actually open up about partially being robbed by affiliate Lil B. But one thing would be super prevalent during this time, and that's Jmane wanting to save the kids. He wanted something for the future for the kids to live in. Something where they could be safe and not have to worry about certain stuff going on. He'd end up pushing peace. He really started pushing this movement. It even led him to linking up with a longtime rival, Tay Savage, and interviewing him on multiple occasions. He also ended up visiting O-Block on multiple occasions. Even though both the times he was kicked out. This was a big thing though. It showed he really wanted to make improvements in the city and really want to push peace with the people he had problems with. But yeah, this is how Fyb Jmane is pushing peace with Serial. But yeah, I think this is a big thing for people to see. It's easy for people outside the stuff to be like, yeah, you guys need to stop doing it. But when it's somebody that has firsthand experience, been around, and has certain situations under his belt, this is the best person that you need to speak out on change. Somebody that's actually currently going through the problems and have had big problems happen to him. Being part of it's a big part of like saying we need to stop this. It's hard to have an outsider like, yeah, guys, we need to stop. You guys need to stop killing and doing all this when they have no really skin in the game. It's easy to push off that type of person. But when you got a person that actually has took losses and really wants to see change and not just for the benefit of himself, that's somebody you really need to listen to. So I could always I could always appreciate what Jmane's doing. Shout out to him. Shout out to Whoops. Go check out all his content. Go follow him on the gram and all that. Go show him some love. But yeah, it's dope seeing his progression. Looking forward to seeing what else he could do. It's been impressive past couple of years. Let's see what he got in store for us, man. But y'all be smooth, man. I will see y'all in the next one. Y'all let me know how you feel about this video.